Hello, my dear students. This is Om Prakash, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Krishna Engineering College. I am taking thermodynamics lecture, and so far, let's have a quick recap upon what we have seen so far. So, in two lectures, in two lectures, we have seen that what is system, surrounding, and all. So, let's see what is the syllabus and what all about the syllabus tells to us. So that we have seen in the previous two lectures. We will continue our lecture in this session. So let's have a quick recap upon what we have seen so far. We have seen syllabus point of view for the unit number 1, where we have seen all the concept, system, surrounding, first law, and all. So here, what is the objective of thermodynamics, applications or area of thermodynamics and energy, and we have seen what is first law and second law, just for the sake of definition point of view. And again, we have seen importance of dimensions and units of in metric SI system and English system, some SI and English unit system, some SI and English system. We have seen dimensional homogeneity, unit conversion ratios, what is system and control volume, what is system, surrounding, and boundaries, what is closed system, what is open system, and what is isolated system. So far we have seen what is open system and control surfaces, and what is the property of a system, what is the intensive property, what is extensive properties, what is specific properties, and what is density, what is specific weight, what is specific gravities, and what is the formulation of all these terminology or keywords. So far we have seen, and one of the most important thing we have seen is what is state and equilibrium. What is state? That is condition of a system. State is condition of a system. What is equilibrium in thermodynamics? There are three kinds of the equilibrium in thermodynamics. Those are thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, phase equilibrium, chemical equilibrium. And we have seen the state postulates, where we have described the state of a simple compressible system is completely specified by two independent intensive properties. And we will continue our lecture from this point, that is processes and cycles. So we will see what is processes and cycle. What is process first? Let's see what is process. Any change that a system undergoes from one equilibrium state to another, or you can also call it as the transformation of a state from one point or from one position to another point or another position, is called a state in simple language. What is path? The series of states through which a system passes during a process. When there will be a transformation of state, when there will be a transformation of state, suppose this is state number 1 and this is state number 2. So what is going on? This is the transformation of a state. At each and every point the state is being changed, because at each point there will be some particular temperature, some particular pressure, some particular density, so according to which it goes on changing its particular temperature, pressure, and all at the coordinate system. That is why it is called as the process. That is, the transformation of state is called process, but the path by which the transformation of state is taking place is called as path. You can also call it as path. So we have seen what is path and all. Now we will see what is the process diagram. So here it is state 1 and state 2. This is process path, where state 1 goes on transforming from point number 1 to 2. That is process. Or we have seen quasi-static or quasi-static processes, where slow compression or very fast compression. When there will be slow compression, it will be quasi-equilibrium, because the change of state is infinitesimally very small, and a process proceeds in such a manner that the system remains infinitesimally close to an equilibrium state at all the times. It is called as the quasi-static process. And my dear students, we will see what is some common properties that are used as coordinates and temperature. So we have also seen this isothermal, isobaric and isochoric process. And what is cycle? We have so far we have seen what is system, what is the transformation of system, and what is the path through which the system is goes on transforming for making a process, and what is a cycle. When a process during which the initial and final states are identical, it is called as the cycle. When suppose this is point number 1 and it goes on transforming through these points and finally it reaches to point number 2. So from point number 1 to point number 2 there will be transformation of states from point number 1 to 2 or state 1 to 2, and by which there will be a process. So here it is a process. From 1 to 2 it is a process. It may be isothermal, it may be isobaric, it may be isochoric, it may be polytropic, or it may be isentropic. But the what is path? The this is the locus of the point through which it covers is called as the path. So here we have seen what is process and path, what is state transformation. But what is cycle here? When this point goes on from point number 1 to 2 and again it covers the path from 2 to 1 in such a way that initial point and final points become identical. In that case we can call it as a cycle. But here in this case PV diagram we are not showing cycle. In the next slide we will see what is cycle. But here from 1 to 2 and again it is coming from point number 2 to 1, that is called as the cycle. Means it is an identical point initial and final. So here we have seen what is cycle so far, and now we will see the path of the cycle. What is the path of the cycle? So it is the steady state flow process, the steady flow processes. What is steady flow process? Steady implies no change with time. Steady implies no change with time. Here steady implies no change with time. Means when there will be change of time, there will not be any kind of changes in temperature, in volume, in pressure and all the thermodynamic properties. It is called as the steady state processes. So what is steady flow process? A process during which a fluid flow through a control volume steadily. What is control volume? In a closed cycle, we have seen in a closed cycle, or it is also called as volume control volume. So in closed cycle, if there will be a process which is going on or undergoing in such a way that the fluid flows in a control volume. A large number of engineering devices operates for long periods of time under the same conditions, and they are classified as steady flow processes. Once again we will see a large number of engineering devices. What are those devices? Like turbine, pump, boiler, condenser, heat exchanger, power plants and refrigeration systems. They are the engineering devices which operate for a long periods of time under the same condition, and they are classified as steady flow devices. Means there will not be the change of temperature, pressure, volume and density with respect to the time. Suppose you are considering all these phenomena, all the devices at this particular time when I am recording this lecture, and again tomorrow at the same time we are seeing the functioning or functionalities of the turbine, pumps, boiler, condenser, heat exchanger, power plant and refrigeration system. You will find that the temperature, pressure, volume and all the thermodynamic properties are almost equivalent, has not been changed. And again it goes on continuous processes, goes on continuous functionality of this all the devices. So in that case we can call it as the steady flow processes. Let's see. Here it is a fluid properties within the control volume may change with position but not with time. Maybe it is changing with the position but not with respect to the time. Here it is 1 p.m. and here it is 3 p.m. So it is 300 degrees Celsius, 250 degrees Celsius. It is same. It is control volume at 225 degrees Celsius. and when mass is going out from the device, it is 200 and 150. Here it is 200 degree and 150 degree Celsius. Means at 1 p.m. and at 3 p.m. the thermodynamic temperature is not going to be changed with respect to time, but maybe there will be a chances that this goes on changing with respect to position. So here we are considering time as our main constant upon which the values are depending. So here it is, mass and energy contents of a control volume remains constant. When there is a mass in and mass out in a control volume, mass times control volume CV is constant, or E times CV or control volume is constant. So mass and energy total constant in the devices in the system will remain constant during the change of the time. So it is called as the steady flow processes, right? Let's see the next slide. That is, what is our next slide? Our next slide is temperature and the Zeroth law of thermodynamics. What is the temperature and Zeroth law of the thermodynamics? So we will see here the temperature and Zeroth law of thermodynamics, guys. Yeah, temperature and the Zeroth law of thermodynamics. So what is Zeroth law of thermodynamics? First we will see, if two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body, suppose it is a body number 1, it is a body number 2, and these two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body. Let's say my mobile is a third body, and with respect to this third body, this body number 1 is in equilibrium, this body number 2 is in equilibrium, they are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. In that case we can say that body number 1, body number 2 and body number 3, or system 1, 2 and 3, all three are in thermal equilibrium with respect to each other. Now we will see, by replacing the third body with a thermometer. Suppose we are replacing the third bodies, that here in this case we have considered my mobile as the third body. So if we replace this body or my mobile or third devices, third system with respect to a thermometer, what will happen? The Zeroth law can be restated as, or it can be defined as, two bodies are in thermal equilibrium if both have the same temperature, even if they are not in contact. It means that when all these three bodies have been kept in contact and all these three have been transformed into a thermal equilibrium with each other, and third body is replaced with thermometer, let's say it is a third device, then what will happen? Two bodies are in thermal equilibrium if both have the same temperature, even if they are not in contact. Means suppose we have a body iron of 150 degree Celsius, iron at 60 degree Celsius, they have been kept in with copper 20 degree and copper 60 degree. What will happen? What will happen in this case? There will be a third body or third thermometer, let's say. What will happen? These will be in contact and all together these three will be in thermal equilibrium. But when these bodies are in constant temperature separately, suppose iron is of 100 degrees Celsius and here it is also 100 degrees Celsius, whether it is not in contact, we can also call it as these two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, right? So in the next slide we will see what is temperature scales. Here all temperature scales are based on some easily reproducible states such as the freezing and boiling points of water, the ice point and the steam point. So my dear friends, we will see all these things, all these concepts in pure substances in unit number 1, where what is the scale of the temperature and what is the phenomena when this temperature goes on changing, what will be the qualities of whatever the fluid we are taking into considerations, we will see in the unit number 4. But just for the sake of the unit flow, we will see that all temperature scales are based on some easily reproducible states such as the freezing and boiling points of the water. So we will see freezing and boiling points here for the sake of reference, where the ice point and the steam point is very much important. What is ice point then, and what is steam point, what is Celsius scale, what is Fahrenheit scale, and what is thermodynamic temperature scale. We will see all the temperature scales. So here it is: ice point, a mixture of ice and water that is in equilibrium with air saturated with vapor at 1 atmospheric pressure is called as ice point. You do not have to remember the what is the definition of ice point. You have to remember that 0 degree Celsius or 32 degree Fahrenheit are called as the ice point. What is steam point? A mixture of liquid water and water vapor with no air. When there is not any kind of air, then in equilibrium at 1 atm pressure, 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degree Fahrenheit will be called as the steam point. What is Celsius scale then? In SI unit system we will see what is Celsius. In English system we will see what is Fahrenheit, or it is also taken in English system, and Celsius we will take in SI unit. Thermodynamic temperature scale, a temperature scale that is independent of the properties of any substance. When we are taking any different substances and temperature scale is independent of the property of the substance, at that time we can call it as the temperature or thermodynamic temperature scale. We take Kelvin scale and Rankine scale in case of thermodynamics. In case of thermodynamics, we will see what is the Kelvin scale, which is not the case of any particular properties. Suppose we are taking a steam, or it is a nitrogen gas, or whatever it may be, temperature will be always taken in the Kelvin scale here. So in this diagram we can see that there is absolute vacuum V, that is constant. A constant volume gas thermometer would read minus 273.15 degrees Celsius or 0 Kelvin at absolute zero pressure. So when there will be absolute pressure, the temperature will be 0 Kelvin or minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. So here it is. Minus 273.15. Temperature in degree C, temperature in Kelvin, or pressure in kilopascal. So here it is a thermodynamic temperature scale. Now we will say that delta Tk is delta T degree Celsius, or we can see the relationship between different scales. When it is in Kelvin, what will happen? Temperature of Celsius plus 273.15 will give the Kelvin scale. Means suppose you have 10 degrees Celsius, you are adding upon 273.15 with 10 degrees Celsius, you will get the temperature in Kelvin scale. Or in Rankine scale, we will you will find 459.67. It is not in use. So we will see that what is the Kelvin scale in case of degree Celsius, and what is the Fahrenheit scale in case of degree Celsius. So 1.8 times temperature in degree Celsius plus 32 degree or 32 will give you. So here it is very important, my dear students, this one and this one, these two scales, not this one, but here it is temperature in Kelvin, that is whatever the temperature in Celsius is given, we will add it with 273.15 and we will get the Celsius, and it has been converted into Kelvin scale. If you have a temperature in degree Celsius and you have to convert it with Fahrenheit, what will you do? 1.8 times temperature in degree Celsius plus 32 will give you temperature in Fahrenheit scale, and we are going to see these two scales here. So here it is 273.16, that is 0.01, and here it is 32.02, that is 491.69, or it is a triple point of water. So this is called the triple point of the water, and this is the temperature in case of degree Celsius and Kelvin. This is temperature in case of Fahrenheit and Rankine scale. Right. Now we will see next slide, where we can see what is the phenomena of thermodynamics. Yeah. So here it is. Pressure. we have a very important phenomena, that is pressure. So we will see what is the pressure in different scale. That is pressure, a normal force exerted by a fluid per unit area. When there will be a normal force, when there will be a normal force which is being exerted by a fluid per unit area, means this is a area, at this area whatever the normal force is exerted upon it is considered as the pressure, or 1 pascal, that is 1 newton per meter square. Suppose this is 1 meter square surface area, and we are applying 1 newton of the force. So 1 newton force means whatever the amount of or amplitude of the force we are applying on this particular surface is 1 newton, that is amplitude is 1 newton. So when you are applying 1 newton amplitude force upon 1 meter square surface area, the total pressure exerted by that particular surface will be 1 pascal, or you can also call it as 1 bar equal to 10 to the power 5 pascal. That is conversion of the unit here, that is 0.1 megapascal or 100 kilopascal. So you have to remember what is the scale, or what is the unit of pressure in case of pascal, in bar, in atmosphere, or in kgf per centimeter square. So in case of 1 bar, that is 10 to the power 5 pascal, and 1 atmosphere is 101.325 kilopascal. So here it is very important. If you are remembering this consideration, I think you will be able to solve all the kinds of questions. Or 1 atmosphere is equal to 1.01325 bars. So here it is very important, right? And now we will see different scales in case of pressure. As we have seen different scales in case of temperature, we will see different scales in case of pressure. That is absolute pressure, the actual pressure relative to absolute vacuum. When there will be a vacuum or gauge pressure, in that case what will be the absolute pressure. We will see the conversion with respect to the formula also. So here, what is absolute pressure? What is gauge pressure? Gauge pressure is the difference between the absolute pressure and the local atmospheric pressure. In case of this mathematical formulation, we can see absolute, gauge, and vacuum pressure. So what is P gauge? P gauge is P atmosphere minus P atmosphere. P gauge is P absolute minus P atmosphere, and P vacuum is P atmosphere minus P absolute. So in case of gauge pressure, we will see that absolute minus atmosphere will give you gauge pressure. But in case of vacuum, we have seen that atmospheric pressure is vacuum plus absolute. So in both of the cases, there is a contradiction, or we will see what is the formulation in case of gauge pressure or in case of vacuum pressure. So my dear students, it is very important to understand this relationship between gauge pressure, absolute pressure, and total pressure. Right. Now we will see the barometric and atmospheric pressure. Here it is barometric and absolute pressure, which you will also see in thermodynamics, in fluid mechanics. So the atmospheric pressure is measured by a device called a barometer. Thus, the atmospheric pressure is often referred to as the barometric pressure. So atmospheric pressure is measured by a device, that is barometer, or you can also call it as the device by which we measure the pressure is called as the barometer. So the atmospheric pressure is often referred as the barometric pressure because we calculate the atmospheric pressure with the help of barometric device. So it is called barometric pressure. Or what is standard atmosphere? Pressure produced by a column of mercury of 760 mmHg. So here it is a mercury column or Hg column. This height is 760 mm of Hg. Here it is 760 of 760 mm. So when there will be height of 760 mm of the mercury in any thermometric device, what will happen in a height of 0 degree Celsius? When it is maintained at 0 degree Celsius, or rho Hg, that is 13.6 kilogram per meter cube, or density of the Hg is 13.6 kilogram per meter cube under standard gravitational acceleration, that is g equals to 9.8, or you can take to simplify the calculation as 10 meter per second square. In that case, what is the atmospheric pressure or standard atmosphere? Pressure produced by a column of mercury 760 mm. So here it is a 760 mm of height, and what is the W? Rho GH, which you will see in case of fluid mechanics and fluid machinery. So here, when there is a mercury in a bucket or in any devices at point A, B, and C, here it is a mercury which is maintained or at a height of 760 mm. Then what has been happened? That the total pressure has been generated as rho gh into surface area, or pressure equal to force into area. So force is rho gh, and area is the total surface area. So the total atmospheric pressure exerted is P atmospheric pressure in case of mercury, which has been kept at 760 mm of height. So we can calculate all the values or phenomena where there will be 760 mm of height and what has been the total pressure exerted. So here, thank you guys. Thanks, my dear students. You have to remember all these concepts which we have covered up till now. Thank you. Thank you.